glad to have an opportunity to ask you a little bit about your Yenching experience. Keshav, what motivated you initially to apply to the program?
I had always studied China from afar, and the more I studied about China, I realized that I was only skimming the surface and that there was no substitute for first-hand experience. Yenching provided us all with that unique opportunity to come live in China, draw on Veda's vast academic resources, but most importantly, engage with our fellow Yenching peers. That's what made Yenching really special for me.
David, you just arrived at Yenching about 10, 11 days ago. What has surprised you most about the program since you've been here?
What really surprised me in the last few days, I mean, we've only been here for a couple of days now, is that the Academy is really making an effort to integrate us also into the wider PKU community. And not just with activities, but also the professors are very conscious of this issue. This was very important to me because originally I was a bit afraid that we might be living in this kind of elitist bubble, which I think will make it very difficult to actually engage with China in a profound and meaningful way as well. So that came as a bit of a surprise, but a positive one.
Well, Ezra, how have you used your time at the Academy to further develop your skills?
So I think my time spent at the Academy and in Beijing at large has been a particularly enriching one. And one of the things that I've really learned is the importance of building relationships and taking advantage of opportunities when they exist. So I've really taken the time to focus on the things that I'm passionate about and to try and do that really well. And I think that's been one of the most enriching parts of my time spent at the Yenching Academy so far.
Jake, what is the most important thing you're expecting from the Academy?
I think that a lot of my friends here from the program seem to have very extensive experience studying China, whereas I come very much as a novice. And one of my friends who grew up in the city said that if you think after a couple months you're starting to get a grasp of the city, you're totally wrong, you're delusional. My experience so far has really been about kind of having this intellectual and personal humility drilled into you, and kind of constantly being confused and out of your comfort zone, but in a very constructive way.
Chichi, you've been a very active participant in the program. What's it been like for you to help shape this community?
Being the first cohort of Yenching Scholars is very exciting and adventurous. When we first arrived here, the students' life here is like a blank slate. So we, as first Yenching Scholars, we can paint everything we can. For example, if we have an idea, if we want to do a magazine like the Yenching Review, we can gather a group of students who wanted to be editors and want to share our stories. We can just sit down and talk with each other about this idea. So finally, we can make it happen. We keep in mind that we are not only part of the community, but also we are shapers of the community.